It's safe to assume that Lamborghinis have a solid reputation. They are frequently cited in pop culture and are one of the most commonly mentioned exotic cars in rap music. Even if you aren't a fan of sports cars, you've probably heard of Lamborghini. The majority of Lamborghinis are recognized as some of the most powerful muscle cars and fastest racing muscle cars of their era. Are you a die-hard lover of Lamborghini and intend to get one? These are some secrets you need to know before buying a Lamborghini. Kindly stay tuned until the end of this video because number 1 is so amazing. Thanks. Here are the top 10 facts you need to know before buying a Lamborghini. Number 10. Some Lamborghinis share a lot of parts with your run-of-the-mill Audi. In case you didn't know, the Lamborghini Huracan key is the same as the Audi A4 key. Sure, Lamborghini is owned by the VW Group, which also owns Audi, Volkswagen, Bentley, Skoda, and Seat, but some owners have complained that they don't get much exclusivity from their Lamborghini, and in all honesty, paying $200,000 plus for an exotic supercar and getting bits and bobs present on far less cars doesn't sound too appealing, does it? All we know is that this scenario does not apply to Ferrari, McLaren, Koenigsegg, or Aston Martin. Furthermore, the Huracan shares its V10 with the Audi R8, which isn't always a negative thing, until you consider this. You spent a lot of money on a Lamborghini, so why share stuff with people who bought a different brand, albeit owned by the same conglomerate? Furthermore, the Urus is built on Volkswagen's ML-Bevo platform, which also serves as a foundation for the Audi Q7, Q8, Bentayga, 3rd generation Touareg, and the Porsche Cayenne. So are you truly purchasing a purebred Lamborghini? We doubt it. Number 9. Availability. To maintain their uncommon status, market position, and price, brands such as Lamborghini and Ferrari must adhere to economic trends. Overproduction of a rare automobile, for example, will reduce its value and demand over time. As a result, they rarely produce a large number of car models. The Urus, on the other hand, has become an exception. In comparison to other Lamborghinis and high-end sports cars, the Urus is legal in some places throughout the world, limiting import concerns. Customers can access them from virtually any location. Along with this, as previously said, the Urus's ease of access for families and many occupants contributes to its being Lamborghini's most comprehensive automobile to date. Number 8. It's a crucial name. Lamborghini has made a habit of naming their automobiles after people or things linked to their interests since their inception. This may be seen as early as the 1980s with the Countach and as recently as 2013 with the Veneno. The Urus is the latest to join the trend. Lamborghinis are known for being named after animals, which is part of their tradition. Normally, they are violent and adored, but the Urus chose a different path. According to Lamborghini, the word Urus is taken from the old Urok, now called Urus, ancient ancestors to today's modern cow. This has no bearing on the vehicle's performance or quality, but it is an intriguing fact that demonstrates the car's prospective behavior. Number 7. Lamborghini's second SUV. Few decades in recent history have been as exciting as the 1980s. The 1980s had it all: crazy modernish fashion, action flicks, technical and social revolutions, fantastic vehicles, and so on. Lamborghini was a mover and shaker throughout this period, creating legend after legend. The LM002 was one of these legends, born by the Italian automaker. The LM002 was a risky option for Lamborghini because it was their first SUV and wasn't as well received as they had hoped. Even though the LM002 was not exactly what was anticipated, it was a significant lesson that helped shape the Urus into what it is today. One may argue that without the LM002, the Urus would have never been produced and the utility vehicle market would have never been shaken. Number 6. Cost effectiveness. A couple of things may come to mind. Number 5. Not naturally aspirated. Companies are shifting to greener production models as methods and technologies advance. As cars become faster, more people begin to choose forced induction for MPG, costs, speed, and other reasons. Lamborghini has been the most adamantly opposed to the relocation of all the automakers. Their new Urus, on the other hand, looks to have breached their promise. The Urus, unlike the Aventador, Huracan, and Murcielago, is twin turbocharged. The rationale was most likely due to power output, gas mileage, and a slew of other costs/corporate considerations. In any case, the adoption of forced induction represents a significant stride in Lamborghini's history, and the Urus is the vehicle to bear that distinction. Number 4. The lovely aesthetics. Love them or despise them, it's difficult to deny that Lamborghini can create some incredible vehicles, specifically in terms of visual aesthetics. Regardless of the decade, they've been industry pioneers, including today with the Urus Insane. Although the Urus is an SUV and thus extremely different from Lamborghini's normal vehicles, none of the company's design strengths were overlooked in the creation of this vehicle. It may be a matter of taste, but Lamborghini may have created the nicest and coolest sports utility vehicle ever, with its crisp aesthetics and aggressive demeanor. Number 3. A Lamborghini at heart. As previously noted, hundreds of Lamborghini aficionados were concerned when the Urus was first presented. Their main concern wasn't the price, off-road capability, or appearance, but rather its soul. Would it still be a Lamborghini at heart? Fortunately for us, the answer is yes. Even though the Urus isn't a low-profile, sharp V12 sports car, Lamborghini has managed to capture the spirit and excitement of those vehicles. Yes, you'll ride a little higher and weigh a little more, but you'll never be confused about who built the car or how much it's worth. Lamborghini's Urus is Lamborghini. Number 2. Performance with luxury. Despite its wider appearance and Altarian focus, the Urus is still a capable sports vehicle as previously stated. What's more crucial is if the Urus can still be a luxurious and comfortable vehicle for daily driving, road trips, and so on. Lamborghini anticipated that this would be a source of concern for customers. After all, they weren't going to use it for track days. So, with this in mind, they created a Lamborghini that can not only accommodate more than 2 passengers, but also do so with comfortability and in style. However, if you're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars on a single vehicle, you'd presumably expect it to have some luxury. Number 1. Any Lamborghini will entice you to violate the law. Let's face it, nobody buys a Lamborghini to drive slowly. Not to mention that speeding has always been a tempting proposition for almost every driver out there, regardless of the type of vehicle they can drive, let alone a Lamborghini. Even the hunchback Urus in its 4.0-liter V8, 641 horsepower, and 627 pounds per foot of torque will beg you to pound the gas pedal whenever the traffic clears ahead. So if you're the hot-blooded speed addict type who simply can't stick to the speed limit, buying a Lamborghini could mean a whole new set of problems. Aside from that, handling a Lamborghini is a completely different experience than most of us perceive driving to be. So if you're a new driver or simply haven't had the opportunity to drive that much up to this point, you might want to start with a car that's a little less aggressive and permissive. It's easy to get carried away and believe you're invincible when, in fact, you're still subject to the laws of physics. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, like, and leave a comment saying I subscribed, and I'll personally reply to all your comments. Thanks.